Hey guys, so today I have a face meant for radio. I have been sick the last few days, and so I figured it would be more fun just to stare at the foot of my bed and maybe look at some seeds together. The last of my seed orders has come in for the spring, and by the way, if you can't hear me, make sure and let me know. The last of my big seed orders have come in, and mostly what I was replacing was my cold season seeds. I go through those very quickly in Idaho because a significant portion of our season you can still grow cold season crops. Like you can grow peas all year round, winter peas, sugar snap peas. They don't go starchy on us in Idaho the same way that they do in really hot climates. So I go through a lot of peas, and I go through a lot of greens. I go through a lot of Chinese cabbage. Spinach will bolt because spinach bolts a lot. But things like Swiss chard and that kind of thing are always good. Okay, so this might be tricky for me to actually read comments. I might have to ask John to come help me because I'm trying to read it from the top of my phone, which is hard because it's pointed here. So I'll do my best. Hello everybody, and I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm gonna try and peek and see if I can read any of the comments, but at this point I'm really struggling. I wonder if I can bring this down a bit so that it's not so high. Oops, let's see, can I bring it down? I don't know if I can figure out how to bring it down, guys. At this point I can't read it. Alright, so I just really can't. Darn it. What can I do to make it so I can see? Anyway, okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. I will have the links for MI Gardener in the description. I don't know if it's already there yet. Let's see, Micro Farm, okay, come back. Micro Farm Starter said we're excited to put our garden in this year. I know, it feels like a good year to garden. It just, everybody's excited about it. 2 Wild Onions Homestead, good evening. So I'm going to go through and kind of sort things out according to where I would be planting them. I like to start celery under lights. It can be a little bit finicky. They're super tiny. Peas, I would need to have planted them maybe a couple weeks ago underneath a little bit of a cold frame for here. Or I can plant it in a couple weeks, but I'll just have a short season on it because I'm worried it's going to be too hot here to do what Danny wanted to call these English peas. Because if you say you're planting peas here in the south, what you're saying is something like a cow pea or like a purple whole pea, something that is more like a bean. So these, what Danny calls English peas, are for fresh eating, not for cooking. Pardon me. So I got some standbys, I got some cucumbers. Those aren't a big deal. The Oriental yard-long bean, I think looks like fun to try. But I don't believe that that one is like specifically just for the south or specifically just for the north. Okay, what else do we have? Mino Hippie Soul said I'm going to plant carrots for the first time. Carrots, we had luck in our really high raised beds with carrots. We had a really hard time planting them in the actual ground because we have nematodes in Idaho and also the rocks. But we had good success with that in the raised beds. So here I can plant amaranth. Can you guys even see this? Amaranth and chia. The funny thing is you can just go buy a big huge bag of chia seeds and it will sprout. So I keep forgetting that. I buy this kind of thing as a seed packet, and I don't remember that many seeds you can just go buy in bulk from like the health food store and it'll sprout and work just fine. But I do like to support MI Gardener. I do think they have good seeds, so, and I am affiliated with them, but I buy my seeds from them whether or not I'm affiliated with them. So I'm excited to try parsnips, and if we get a property this summer, I'm going to try some plants in the ground and I'm going to try some plants in the raised bed. I've always had success with the raised beds, but it's definitely more expensive to do the raised beds if you're bringing in your own potting medium and lumber than it is just to put it in the ground. And I think it's really a good idea to practice a lot of different types of gardening all at one time, because that way, and just do small beds, but always practice and do something different. All right, so it looks like I have 2 amaranths. Excited about that, and I got way too much chia. What was I thinking? But chia is a little bit sensitive. If it's going to grow somewhere, it is frost sensitive, so it should work pretty well here. It needs a longer growing season than what we can do in Idaho. Lemongrass, we saw a lot of this in Mississippi with Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. St. John's wort, I tried germinating this and I always struggle to get it to survive very long, but we're going to try it again. Try. And the seeds are 99-cent packets, and so if I even get a couple plants out of them, they paid for themselves. I have a lot of stevia. Again, I struggle getting stevia to stay happy, but I just buy a few more packets and eventually they will be happy enough that I will have, they'll stick around. Let's see what people are saying. I can't really read it very well. Okay, so there's stevia. Things that are specifically for the South. So I got collards, Georgia Southern collards. I got purple hull peas, which is a bean. Well, they're a pea, but you eat them like a bean. You cook them, and they're delicious. If you haven't tried Danny and Wanda's cookbook from over in Deep South Homestead, their Southern cooking book is amazing. We got really nice and fat while we were there. All right, so parsnips is a little bit longer season than a carrot, so that's also a Southern thing to grow. I grow sorrel because it helps with heat stroke in my farm animals, and so I always like to keep some of this around. Let's see, Mandolin said I was thinking on mint, but maybe next check I get basil and cantaloupe and cherry tomatoes. Well, I do that where I'll make an order because it's what I'm thinking of in the season, and then I either use it up or it wasn't a success, and so I order more. This, I don't remember if this is my first or my second order for the season. I think it might be my second order for the season. Just because as I go through my assortment of seeds, I always find that there were some things somebody told me about that I thought might work better. Now this is also a cold season. This is mustard tatsoi, so it's like a stir-fry green type of thing, so that would be a cold season. Let's see. Okay, Lucula Swiss chard. I love this variety of Swiss chard. My favorite is perpetual Swiss chard, but it's also good. So I have quite a few English peas, and then saltwort is like a green, kind of like a flavoring green. And then tree lettuce is the same way. It's an Asian type of a green. But I was very conservative in my order with My Garden this time. Catherine over at Little Bits of Heaven Homestead, she absolutely adores Mary's Heirloom Seeds, so I have been making more orders with her, and I've been really happy with what she sent me. So I knew I had already tried quite a bit of the M.I. Gardener, and I wanted to give a bigger shot to Mary's Heirloom Seeds because I had been quite happy with their germination rate. I'm trying to remember. I should have the code in a little bit, but I kind of wanted to get through the show first. So I'm trying to think which one was the new order. This is my old order from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and this is mostly herbs, and things did really well. They germinated really well. Let's see, what was the question? Silver said, how do you organize your seeds, by season or by species? So when I have my seeds set up and I'm planting in my home turf, which hasn't happened for a while, I have a big toolbox. And I get those little fly tying jars that fit together in like this tube. And so I stack them all in there, and I use bead boxes, and I use those little fly tying tubes, and I love that. And if you want to save your seeds, you need to be careful about storing them all together where seeds could fall into each other. But if you're just planting them to eat them, then that works just fine, and you can just put them all together. But if you're going to be saving seeds, you want to be a lot more careful than that with your, see, this is my kind of haul. This looks like riches, and I promise I didn't go overkill. I needed every single one of these seeds. They were all just non-negotiable. So let's see if I can find, so I got more snow peas. I things that I got for, I'm going to try and find the ones I specifically got for the southern growing, long season. So this one, I got artichoke. I got royalty purple potted bean. I got champion collards. I don't know if you guys can see very well. Let's see what else is there. So I got a lot of seeds that were specifically for southern cuisine. Let's see what else we have. Elecampane I ordered just because it's good for lungs and I wanted to have it on hand. Here's Georgia rattlesnake watermelon, and that's for southern. Scarlet and Antes carrots are just my kind of go-to. Things that I like to buy in bulk are carrots and English peas and beets. Those are the seeds that I really, really like to get like in bulk, like by the pound, because they don't always germinate terribly well. The peas always germinate well, but the beets and the carrots do not always germinate terribly well. They can be a little bit finicky. And so those are the ones that I like to buy a lot of. So here's some normal squash, some more carrots. I got a lot of carrots. And there are some other companies that sell bulk, and I like to buy bulk in certain seeds. But I haven't done it in a while because when you don't have a row garden, sometimes you can't go through it quickly enough. Okay, Blacktail Mountain Watermelon. You can see what my kids are going to be really excited about growing this year. Pike Muskmelon. Now, watermelon and melons do not grow in Idaho. We have planted them and kept them in a greenhouse and worked on it really hard, but we have never successfully done that. We can grow squash, summer squash, pumpkins. My mom's grown okra. My mom has grown artichokes. My mom is amazing. She's an amazing gardener, but I've never been successful at it. And I do not believe my mom has ever been successful at growing any kind of melon. Let's see, what are people saying? Are you going to be any container gardening until you find your space? Yes, actually. I have been cutting out milk jugs. I wonder if I should turn a light on so you guys can see. Hold on a second. It might be a little shocking, but I'm going to turn on the light to make sure you can see. Is that better? Oh, crap. Now the fan's going to turn on. Hold on. All right, but that should be a little better. All right, so we grow peppers just fine. I don't know how to turn off my stupid fan. Hold on. Turn off. We have always grown peppers and tomatoes perfectly fine. I love to grow kohlrabi, and they're a cold season plant. Let's see what else we have. This, yeah, you can really see what my kids are excited about. So crimson sweet watermelon. Okay, I always do a lot of bok choy, another Chinese cabbage type of a thing. Ford Hook Giant Swiss Chard. I swear by Swiss Chard because it's just like spinach, except that it's not heat sensitive the same way that that is. Here's my okra. I did one or two. How many okras did I do? I don't remember how many I did, but here's 2 okras. We're going to try okras. And let's see what else. Let's see, Mandolin says, can I come play in the dirt with you? Yes, if I have dirt. Oh, Fenster Farm, how are you? You're going to be busy. Well, I hope I'm going to be busy. I hope I'm not just going to be wishful thinking on all these seeds. If you don't have a row garden, I mean, you're the man who would know. If you don't have a row garden, it's really hard to use this many seeds. Okay, Heirloom Permaculture made it in. Apparently they just made up a video about their food storage room, so make sure to go check them out, Heirloom Permaculture. They have some pretty amazing food things happening on their front. Let's see. Mandolin said, I'm excited about my cantaloupe and the cherry tomatoes. The ones that we really like are the yellow pear tomatoes, the ones that kind of look like a little pear. Those are the ones we love the most. And our favorite sweet pepper, let's see if I can find it. My absolute favorite, my kids eat these like candy, are the sweet banana pepper. They are so good. They're like a bell pepper, but they're sweeter. And so when I find a seed company that carries these, I always get a packet, even if I already have some, because they are amazing. Let's see, let's make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, I want to try turnips. Again, we have nematodes in Idaho, and so anytime I want to grow a root crop, it's much better for me to put it in a raised bed that has prepared soil, that has a soil mix in it, rather than being the native soil. And so I'm really excited. We eat a lot of turnips, and this should be really good turnip growing property. I always plant radishes, and we never eat them because they're always too hot, but I always plant them. So there is my horrible, I am a terrible seed hoarder order of what we don't eat, because it's always so fun. They sprout so quickly, they grow so quickly, they look delicious, and then they're just too hot. But I'm going to grow them anyway. Maybe this year. Maybe this year. I do go over, I get a little overzealous. I looked at this and I hadn't actually pulled all of them out yet. And I look at them now, I'm like, you have an issue, woman. All right, I love beets, red mammoth mangle beets. They are meant for feeding to animals. They get enormous, like they're as big as a soccer ball, enormous beets. And traditionally they used to be fed to cows and sheep and pigs, and so they're very good for feeding livestock. I love beets. I just love beets. They're so easy once they germinate, and you can harvest the greens off the top, or you can harvest the roots later. And they're just happy plants if you can get them to germinate correctly. The old trick, that was the old English trick, was that you would plant these and then you would walk on them with hobnail boots, because you need really good close contact with beets to get them to germinate correctly. All right, my old standbys will always be zucchini and some kind of summer squash. I love, love, love summer squash because you can feed your family on it. You cut up an onion, you cut up your zucchini, you put some butter in, and you saute them, and that is almost a complete meal in itself. When I was a child, my parents fed me almost exclusively on summer squash in the summer, and it is a budget saver to have zucchini. And you can feed them to your rabbits. Did you guys know that rabbits can eat zucchini? All right, I did get a couple. I don't think I ordered this though. I think she threw me in a couple extras because I saw some flower seeds in here, and I never order flower seeds. So I think because I made an over-the-top order, she sent me some extras. But I am excited about flowers because I think these ones don't. There's a lot of flowers that just don't grow in Idaho. It just gets too cold for too long, and they never get a chance. So this is my absolute favorite Swiss chard. Ultimate, over-the-top. Don't want to live without perpetual Swiss chard. You can harvest this and come again, and harvest it and come again, and it is delicious and sweet. And so favorite Swiss chard. I also don't think I ordered this. This is a tomatillo. You can also get what is it called, ground cherry. There's one that is more of like a dessert type of a ground cherry, and then there's the tomatillo. The dessert type ground cherry is smaller, and it'll be called something like pineapple ground cherry, and they're delicious. We absolutely love them. My kids eat them by the handful. Okay, more beets. And then so Ford Hook is also good, but I don't think I ordered this. I think this was one that she threw in extra for me. Yeah, here's more of the perpetual. The perpetual and the Lucky-less Swiss chards are the ones that I cannot live without, and I need to just start saving seeds from them. They're easy to save seeds from when they start to put out their seed heads. You just let some of them dry, let them go all the way, and then save them, and you get a ton of seeds back from these ones. More collard greens. If you haven't ever had collard greens prepared for you by someone who is actually from the South, then you don't realize that you actually love them and you don't hate them. I've had bad collard greens, but if you eat collard greens from somebody who knows how to cook them, they are the best food in the world. It's like you cook them for hours and hours, and you don't want to put too much grease in them. You're putting the bacon in them just for flavoring and for that little bit of tiny bit of grease, but they're so good. The collards are so good. Oh my gosh. So Danny and Wanda over at Deep South Homestead, again, they have an amazing cookbook that teaches you how to do this kind of thing. My other favorite thing over at Danny and Wanda's was that they did a pecan breaded venison steak, and theirs was, who did they get their pecans from? The Tanner pecan, Fox family, Tanner pecans, and they're a great source for pecans. They're dear friends of Danny and Wanda, and they always send them pecans, which I think is so fun. All right, here's another one that's southern. Big Red Ripper Southern Pea. And the longer we're in the South, the more we love these very starchy peas. Now, for those of you who have seen recent videos, I have come off of keto to some degree. I'm not eating sugar, I'm not eating fruit, but I have brought in small doses of garden produce type starches. And I have found that I haven't gained a lot of weight or inflammation back, but I guess I'm much closer to paleo with a hint of keto at this point. Here is ladyfinger southern pea, so another amazing pea, and all of these peas are heat tolerant to the point of they're not tolerant, they really need heat. So there we go, I think, and then there's another thing of collards. And then I think I have a couple, no, I just have one of cabbage and then another really good standby zucchini. And I don't know what people are saying. Let's see. Let's see if I can just take it down so I can actually read it. Let's see. Yes, love summer squash. Aunt Molly. Yes, Heirloom Permaculture said Aunt Molly's is our favorite. Aunt Molly ground cherries. They're delicious. Candy cane beets are a good one. I haven't tried those ones. And let's see what else. Fencer Farm Greenhouse said, see if you can find the sweet banana pepper variety called Golden Goddess. I can't grow enough of them. I run out of them no matter how many I take. I'll have to see if I can find that. I haven't heard of those ones. Bullnose bell peppers are awesome. I'll have to try that. And Scratch Made is in. I'm so excited to see all of your is everybody here on Instagram, and do I know about it? If you guys have an Instagram account where you're putting all your gardening pictures, put it in the description so I can find them, because I would love to see. It looks like you guys are all doing some really amazing things. Let's see. Cowpeas are awesome because they don't need a lot of water. And CRE. What's CRE? Like green beans. And I do have okra. I have, let's see, where's the okra? Let's see. There's the artichoke. Watermelons. Well, I did have it. Maybe I had it over in, oh, there we go. So I have two kinds of okra. I got the Clemson spineless okra, and I assume that's a good thing. Again, my mom has grown okra, but I don't remember. I was in my teens when she did it, and it was delicious, but I don't really remember what she said about it. Burgundy okra as well. So yes, I do. And I have cooked okra before. John Raven said, are you on Facebook? I am on Facebook. It's Dirtpatcheaven. Juju said, we grew up on field corn here in Alabama. It dries quickly, but we love to cream it. It's savory, not sweet. Oh, that's the other thing. Thank you for reminding me. So this is the package of seeds that Danny over at Deep South Homestead gave me when we went to their springtime meetup. Let's see if I can get it open. And these are the things that he wanted me to try in my Idaho garden, but I wasn't able to get a big Idaho garden planted. Where are they? Danny corn is what I'm looking for. Have you guys seen Danny's Danny corn? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Hold on a second, guys. So he keeps all of his own seeds, and he grows some amazing things. This corn gets about 12, 14 feet tall. He's a tall guy, and it's twice as tall as him, and he uses it as cornmeal in everything that they eat there on their property. And so he has rattlesnake beans in here, and I have another dear friend who gave me all of these lovely heirloom seeds that they had been playing with. And so I have them mixed in here a little bit. But these are all things that friends have sent over the years that I have just been itching to be able to put in the ground and get started. And Danny gave these to me at the beginning of last year. And I just felt like they were too special to put in and then leave without getting any good results. So I just didn't do anything with them at that point. And then I also have the same friend who sent me those others sent me these. Now, I call these garbage seeds, not because they're garbage to me, but because the stores will carry these seeds, and then at the end of the year they'll put them up for sale for like 10 cents a piece, and their germination rate isn't always terribly wonderful. But for 10 cents a piece getting that many seeds, you can start a pretty big garden for like $5. And so my mom used to get a lot of these, and because they don't all germinate, I just always think of them as garbage seeds. But I love that I had a friend that would send these to them. It was more than he could use. And you can get some amazing food off of them for very inexpensive. So I do need to go look up his name, because he sent these to me, I think the first year, I don't think it was, maybe it was this last summer, but he sent me some amazing things, and I need to thank him. And sometimes I worry that he hears me call them garbage seeds on a video and that it would hurt his feelings. But they're not garbage, it's just that they're not perfect. I don't know what else to say about them, because they're not all gonna germinate. But these are some other things. Let's see if I can find these. He sent me some Indian corn that's beautiful, and everything that I have tried has at least germinated a little bit, but he wanted to make sure that I had some good heirloom seeds, and they were things that he'd started and he had from people who were neighbors who were close. So I think I do just need to, get a hold of him and make sure he knows that I appreciated that. Okay, so Artichoke said long beans are the best for sure. John Raven said, I'm looking forward to some greens. Mizuna is my favorite mustard. I feel like it's been so long since I've not only planted a garden but also harvested it that I don't remember what it tastes like. I've gone through the motions of planting a garden, but have had so little time to harvest that it's been other people who've been harvesting, and you lose out so much if you don't get to do both. John Raven said you can get corn that is specifically for baby corn. Glass corn is gorgeous. So I don't know. We're at a point in the hunt for the land that we're kind of getting down to brass tacks, and I feel like I'm running out of time a little bit before the hot weather comes in. Probably if we don't find a house within the next couple weeks, we're probably going to just put the house hunting on hold, and we're going to go back, and I'm going to set things up the way they need to be in Idaho, and then we'll pick the hunt back up when I get back to Tulsa after setting the watering up for the renters. So that's kind of where we sit at this point. We do have a home that we're looking at right now really, really seriously, but we've hit a couple of roadblocks that have just made us wonder if maybe it wouldn't be better if we waited a little bit. So that's kind of where things sit, and I think, let's say, how long have I been on? 27 minutes. Bye, Chuck. Thanks for coming. So, Heirloom Permaculture said, you're more than welcome to plant in our community garden. Thank you so much. They do. Heirloom Permaculture, they have set up a little permaculture garden in the front for people to come and enjoy, and I really appreciate that. We just don't get out of the house much. If the garden's not pretty close to my front door, I find that I don't have the energy to do it. And I think that's the beauty of permaculture, is that it teaches you that, to have what you use most intensively next to the house, keep it as convenient as possible, and not to make it a Herculean effort. And that's what I worry about right now, is that if I don't have a garden in my own space, I won't have the energy to keep it up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up and see if I can get all of my seeds off of my bed. There, I have all my other supplies ready to go, and we'll see how much of it we actually get to plant this year. So, if you're interested in the seed sources, make sure to check in the description as soon as I finally go figure out if it actually is on there. And I love that. Heirloom Permaculture said, you're welcome to pull weeds when you feel the need then. That is probably more what would be in my line, would be a day of coming out and pulling weeds and visiting. That definitely sounds like fun and something I could do. So I'm going to go put up all my mess, and thanks for checking in, and make sure to go check out Heirloom Permaculture, Deep South Homestead, and Little Bits of Heaven Homestead here on YouTube. Make sure to go check them all out. And my husband just put up a link so that I can't actually close out the show. All right. Thanks, Glen Okla. I appreciate it. See you later.